Today I'm playing around with the Otamatone. It's a battery-powered ribbon synthesizer with a rubber mouth speaker on the end for modulating sound, like this. It was created by two Japanese brothers, Masamichi and Nobumichi Tosa. They run an art incubator and design firm called Maywa Denki. And this is just one of the many cool projects they've come out with over the years. There are different versions of the Otamatone with more features, but the one that I have is like 35 bucks, which was cheap enough for me to buy on a whim while I was at the electronics store getting some lighting equipment for this YouTube channel. It was in the last minute items section of the store at the checkout line, and I had no intention of buying this when I walked into that store. We all know how that goes. So you make sound by pressing your finger on this ribbon, which runs up and down the stem. And the ribbon is just like a little circuit that is tactile sensitive, meaning sensitive to touch. So when you press it, it activates the sound, and when you move it up and down, it changes the pitch, like this. The packaging includes a little guide and techniques on how to modulate the sound, such as vibrating your finger and doing glissandos, like, or whatever that's called. But my personal favorite is vibrating your finger while shaking the whole thing to kind of get this operatic sound. Of course, it also helps when you open and close this mouth while you're making sounds. But I like to just shake the whole thing. So there are two volume levels on the one that I have. There's on and then louder, as you can see on the back of here. And then also there are three different pitch ranges. So you've got low, mid, and high. My personal favorite is mid, because you just kind of, each range has its own purpose, I guess. When you're trying to play an actual song on the Otamatone, it's not easy to like stay in key or play predefined notes like on a piano, but the same goes for stringed instruments or other fretless instruments until you really get the hang of them. So if you're a violin player, you've probably got a head start on this thing. The benefit of not having distinct notes is that you can bend in between notes. And you don't have to lift up your finger. So it is a benefit, but definitely a learning curve at the beginning. I've had this for about a week or so, and I've only been yelled at twice. So in comparison to the time I was learning bagpipes, I think we're seeing some improvement here. Here's what I've learned so far. Did that sound like Freebird to you? I mean, I thought it might have. So one thing to help you get started on the Otamatone is the paper guide that's included in the packaging. You just place the Otamatone on the paper like so and follow along with the numbers. Not sure how Beethoven would feel about it, but I'm pretty sure he's never gonna find out. I prefer to play Careless Whisper anyway. Now that you've heard some sounds, let's get into some history and fun facts, if you're still with me. So first off, This little synth got its name from the Japanese word otamajakushi, which means tadpole. It also resembles an eighth note with this little flag here. When you're writing an eighth note in music as a standalone note, it has one flag. When you have a 16th note, it's two flags. I think I can see the resemblance to both the tadpole and the eighth note. And as I mentioned before, the Otamatone comes from Maywa Denki, which is an art collective and incubator started by the two brothers in 1993. They have 3 product lines inspired by flowers, fish, and music. And their creations are self-described nonsense machines. And you have to hear and see them to really believe them. So I definitely recommend checking out their website when you get a chance. I'll link that in the description. My personal favorite project from Maywa Denki is what they call the Newton gun, which came out in 1998 and falls under the flower-inspired series. The Newton gun is just a glorified tongs in the shape of a rifle, but when you pull the trigger, it just lets go of whatever it's holding and the object drops to the ground. The website describes it as a gun capable of dropping an apple toward the exact center of the earth. And it's equipped with a level. So back to the Otamatone. Maywa Denki released the Otamatone in 2009, and they've been putting out creative new versions ever since. So they've got a kiss version, a like chocolate drop version, a Hatsune Miku version, and I'm just kind of showing you all the different versions here. If I was ever to dedicate some serious time to learning this instrument, I would probably go with the bigger version that has a volume dial, a power supply, and a line out so that you could plug into some effects pedals and do some other recording without having to deal with microphones. The bigger one also comes with some eyelets so that you could attach a strap like a saxophone. All right, so there you have it. That is a brief history and demonstration of the Otamatone, a simple and quirky instrument that has a much deeper history than meets the eye. I hope you learned something new. I definitely did, and I had a lot of fun going down the Maywa Denki rabbit hole, which I encourage you to do as well on their website. I definitely did not expect to find what I did, but I'm glad I did. And I'm also super glad that this knee-jerk purchase of this little tadpole synth brought me on this little journey and led me to create this video for you all. This channel is just meant to be for things that I'm interested in learning about and also just diving in deeper and sharing with others. So I pick a topic on Sunday and I try to stick with that topic, even if it gets a little bit frustrating. This thing is really hard to play, but I've definitely had some fun with it. So anyway, if you liked the video, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that jazz. And with that said, you'll see me next time.